Welcome to Linda's Corner. My name is Linda Bjork. For today's episode, I will be sharing an excerpt from one of my books called You Got This, An Action Plan to Calm Fear, Anxiety, Worry, and Stress. With all the disturbing current events we're facing, people all around the world are experiencing overwhelmingly high levels of stress right now. I feel strongly about the need to help empower people to be resilient and able to handle their problems. You Got This is a thoroughly researched, easy-to-read, well-designed action plan to calm feelings of fear, anxiety, worry, and stress, with a wide variety of proven cognitive behavioral therapy techniques that empower people to regain a sense of peace and control in their lives. You Got This will show you how to decrease stressors, increase coping skills, increase confidence, increase resilience, and find solutions to your problems. The book is available in paperback and ebook formats on Amazon. Today's excerpt highlights one of the many tools shared in the book. These tools are part of the section of the book called Daily Action Steps. If we want to make positive changes in our lives, then learning new information simply isn't enough. Change requires action. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but there is no other way. However, it doesn't have to be hard, overwhelming, or take a lot of time. Rather than expecting someone to completely overhaul their lives overnight, these action steps are broken down into small, bite-sized pieces that are simple and short, so that they can be completed by real people who are living real lives. It's going to be okay. You got this. The tool we're going to be talking about today is a visualization exercise to help let go of unnecessary burdens. We've been actively looking for ways to reduce stressors. We've done exercises to help us identify and evaluate our core beliefs and to determine any perceived rewards from carrying excess fear, anxiety, worry, and stress. Hopefully, by this point, with an increased awareness, we can see that at least some of our burdens are unnecessary, and we are willing to let go of some of that excess. Today's action step is a visualization technique designed to help us let go of any unnecessary burdens. Research shows that visualization and imagery techniques are helpful therapies to facilitate healing. We're also going to include an element that has proven effective to innumerable hosts of people who have healed from addictions by following the 12-step addiction recovery programs. And that is calling on a higher power. The main benefit of using the words higher power is that it cannot be easily defined, and people can interpret the concept as they wish. Most people interpret higher power as meaning a god, but it does not have to be interpreted this way. It is left up to the individual to decide how they wish to define it. It could be God, or the universe, or karma, or whatever feels comfortable for you. There are no rules, except that this power has to be greater than the individual. This makes it possible for a Christian, a Buddhist, or even an atheist to work side by side to tap into the scientifically verified benefits of spirituality on physical, mental, and emotional well-being. A large volume of research shows that people who are more religious or spiritual have better mental health and adapt more quickly to health problems compared to those who are less religious or spiritual. When people believe in a power greater than themselves, it can facilitate healing and make life easier. For example, when a person feels overwhelmed by a task and may not believe that they have the ability to defeat their problem alone, relying on a power greater than themselves can help give them the strength that they need. When people believe in a higher power, they will usually find it easier to forgive other people who have wronged them. It also becomes much easier to let go of resentments. Furthermore, as a person faces challenges, it can be a great source of comfort to believe in a higher power that is providing them with help. If a challenge becomes overwhelming, a person can hand it over to their higher power. This can be like lifting a great weight off their shoulders. When people develop the ability to let things go, it brings them peace of mind and contentment. Belief in a higher power can give people a sense of purpose and meaning in their life as well. The visualization exercise for today is to symbolically hand over our emotional burdens to our higher power. During this visualization, I'm going to use the pronouns he and his when referring to the higher power. But you could substitute the pronouns she and her or it and its if that feels more appropriate to you. Take a few deep belly breaths and close your eyes to minimize distractions. I want you to visualize that you are hiking up a mountain trail. I want you to look around and notice as much detail as you can. What does the scenery look like? What kind of trees do you see? Is the path steep, or is it a gentle incline? Is the sun shining, or is it stormy? Notice the time of day and the season. Notice any sounds that you might be hearing. Notice your position on the trail. Are you just starting at the bottom of the trail? Are you near the top? Or are you somewhere in the middle? As you're walking along, you notice something that seems to be hampering your progress. Then you notice that you're carrying a bag, and inside this bag are rocks that symbolize your emotional burdens. Now, I want you to pay attention to the bag you are carrying. What kind of bag is it? Is it a backpack? Or maybe a big sack like a pillowcase that you hold onto with one hand as it swings over one shoulder? What does it look like? Imagine the color, the texture, and the feel of the bag. What is it made out of? How big is it? How heavy is it? Is it nearly empty, or is it bulging, stretching, and ready to burst the seams? Now imagine the rocks inside the bag that represent those hurtful emotions that you're carrying. It might include feelings of worry, fear, anxiety, stress, anger, resentment, shame, abandonment, or betrayal. Or it might include something else that concerns a current situation, or perhaps an event that happened in the past, or even an anticipated event in the future. What do these rocks look like? What kind of stone are they? Are they smooth or are they jagged? Describe the size, color, and the shapes of the rocks. How do you feel as you heft their weight in your bag? Is it easy, or are your legs buckling under the weight? Now, pay attention to your pace as you continue up the trail. Are you running, skipping, walking, trudging, stumbling, or even crawling? As you're traveling along the path, you turn and notice that someone is traveling beside you. Although you've never met this personage before, you recognize that it is your higher power. What does he look like? What does it feel like to be in his presence? Your higher power has the ability to see through your bag and is aware of each and every emotional burden you are carrying, as well as all the circumstances and events that cause them. He looks at you with compassion and empathy. Now you feel an overwhelming sense of love and acceptance sweeping over you. This love is deep and intense. You feel it from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head. You accept this love and allow it to flow through you. You know, without a doubt, and perhaps for the first time, that your higher power cares deeply, personally, and intimately about you. Your higher power calls you by name and offers to take your burdens. He is all-powerful, and these burdens are light to him. In fact, he considers it a pleasure to be able to serve you. However, he will not force you against your will, because he respects you too much to take away your agency. What happens next? Do you accept his offer? Do you give him the whole bag? Or do you sort through it and select just a few stones from inside the bag and hand him those while choosing to keep the rest? What thoughts and feelings are going through your mind as you hand him the stones? Whether you were willing to let go of all, some, or none of your stones, you see your higher power smile at you. And once again, you feel that overwhelming feeling of love sweeping over you. He loves you if you keep your stones, and he loves you if you let them go. He honors your freedom to choose. What happens next? What message does your higher power want to share with you? What encouragement does he give? What advice does he give? It's time for him to go now, but your higher power is willing to come again and walk beside you. He's also willing to ease your burdens. If you ask, believe that he'll take them and be willing to let them go. Notice your surroundings again. Pay attention to any changes that may have occurred. Is your bag any lighter? Does it take less effort as you hike up the trail? Notice your pace as you continue along the trail. Are you running, skipping, walking, trudging, stumbling, or even crawling? Is it any different from before? How do you feel? Look around at the scenery. Is it the same, or has it changed as well? Look around and notice as much detail as you can. What kind of trees do you see? Is the path steep, or is it a gentle incline? Is the sun shining, or is it stormy? Notice the quality of the light. Notice the time of day and the season. Notice any sounds that you might be hearing. Now it's time for you to return as well. But remember that you can return here any time that you want to. For now, I just want you to return your focus to your breathing. Take a few more deep breaths while you allow the vision to slowly fade, and you return to your natural surroundings. I hope you have enjoyed this excerpt from my book, You Got This, an action plan to calm fear, anxiety, worry, and stress. I feel strongly about the need to help empower people to be resilient and able to handle their problems, so I will continue sharing excerpts from the book in other episodes of Linda's Corner. In closing, I would like to share a quote from an official review from onlinebookclub.org. It says, "The new things I learned fulfilled all my expectations." See you next time on Linda's Corner.